I mean, we're hearing that, the ASEAN countries, they need to take more part in it. They need to, your organization, how are you addressing this issue? I mean, what kind of things are you involved in?
Yeah, this is actually, if you look at the whole situation of the Rohingya people, they are not simply tolerated in the country. And we are talking about these boat people in the Southeast Asian countries. The Burmese authorities, military junta, has created an impossible situation for a peaceful living for these people. Even for them, all sources for sustenance is completely denied to them. All chance of survival is exhausted completely. So these people, these serious situation, the effect of this situation has been, seriously felt by the young people, particularly young people, both in Arakan and those who are living in Bangladesh as refugees. So these people are living them in the Southeast Asian countries. Not only this is it will be completely wrong if it says that they are economic migrant. They are chiefly for the protection, and then for economy as well.
Yeah.
But this economic interest has got, the migration has got political roots. Unless you address these, the cause, without realizing the plight of the refugees, that they are flight from their homeland. If you say the refugee migrant, this is completely wrong. To me, they are refugees by all legal, the international standard. Because they are those people who have to leave their country for fear of persecution. That the well-founded fear of persecution
well,
is there.
We also have reports, and Human Rights Watch have listed this as there's extrajudiciary killings taking place.
Yeah, extrajudicial killings. And this is I can say it in one word. Arakan is hell for the Rohingya people. Because they have nothing. An animal has got a right to go from grazing ground to grazing ground, but these people cannot move from one place to another. Even they are depopulated. To be repopulated by the Buddhists, settlers invited from interior and from outside the country as well.
Okay.
And then there's just a lot of demographic changes, very extensively going on. So these people are simply, as I tell you, this is completely impossible for a peaceful living for these people. So this is a case, the human rights issue. You cannot just say that the violation of human rights cannot be termed as an internal affairs of a country. Since we could not protect ourselves, their responsibility now lies shifted to the international community to protect us. This is the situation.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think you're nodding there as well. I think there's no disagreement about that. I mean, but what Nurul is describing there. I mean, is the UN 100% in agreement that the situation is so bad that the responsibility not just on its neighbouring countries, others is far greater. And how do you view this? Because, like for example, in Bangladesh, I mean, we're hearing that they are planning to send these people back. Now they're not economic migrants. They might call themselves that out of whatever. But if Nurul is describing the situation where in their own state they can't move from village to village, there's no means to support themselves, then they're not economic migrants. They're fleeing prosecution and persecution.
Yeah.
Well, clearly the conditions inside North Rakhine State are in many areas extremely dire. UNHCR does have an operation on the ground in that region. We are monitoring the return and reintegration of those people who were refugees in Bangladesh. We've established language training programs so they can learn the majority language to better communicate with the majority population across the country and the authorities. We are providing vocational programs, and we believe that our presence on the ground there is very important to monitor the condition of the returnees. But clearly, there remain problems across North Rakhine State, triggered by the restrictions on their rights, triggered by their access to work. Some people do suffer from human rights abuses, and that's why we're also working in the countries in the region. But I do want to say that Bangladesh itself has, by and large, respected the principle of non-refoulement. So they've been very generous, and we hope that no one who is in need of protection as a refugee will be forced back to Myanmar. But clearly, as other countries have faced, this issue of undocumented workers coming in is a challenge, even for industrialized states in Europe.
Yeah.
And indeed, often European states set a very poor example for extremely hospitable countries like Bangladesh and Thailand and Indonesia.
Okay. I mean, Tom, how confident are you that if people are sent back, that they're not going back to perhaps, torture, death, or at least very minimum abuses of their rights?
Not confident at all. I mean, we've got good evidence that they are going back to face serious persecution. I mean, for a start, those who are going back get prosecuted and imprisoned for having left the country illegally because you need permits to leave Burma. No, I mean, the situation is extremely bad. There's also a link here, actually, with the whole issue of Islamic militancy in the region, because the Burmese authorities claim, without any evidence whatsoever, that the Rohingya are a threat to the national security of the state. They hint that they're involved in Islamic militancy. There's no evidence for that whatsoever. And also, one of the reasons why the Thais, the Thai authorities say that they don't want to host these people is because the Thai government is facing its own Thai Muslim separatist movement in southern Thailand. And in fact, a couple of years ago, a senior Thai official from the Royal Thai Navy made the very explicit claim that the Burmese Muslims from the Rohingya group are actually coming to help the insurgents in southern Thailand. Again, there's no evidence for that either. So this is being used as a pretext, I think, and it's certainly not helping to deal with the problem of the vulnerability of these people.
Peter, I mean, do you agree with that? Is there some conflation taking place now? This super narrative of a war on terror being used by everyone and anyone to achieve their own ends?
Well, I'm not aware of this kind of report, but clearly Rohingya at sea that were then picked up by the Thai military under the previous government did suffer greatly, and many lost their lives when they were towed back out to sea. And fortunately, we have a much better relationship with the new Thai government, and that's very positive. And on the case of Bangladesh, while we know of some individuals, some undocumented workers who were returned by Bangladesh, we don't know of anyone ever being formally handed back to the Myanmar authorities. And that's also rather positive if that is the case. But indeed, UNHCR cannot monitor the borders, and we're not everywhere all the time. But indeed, it is a regional problem that has to be addressed both by countries in the region and also by the broader international community, including, of course, the Islamic world.
Yeah, I mean, Nurul, talking of the Islamic world, I mean, have you made representations to OIC and others for them to actually take this matter quite seriously?
Now, recently I have been to OIC, and I was participating in a meeting of the Intergovernmental Expert Meeting on Muslim Minority and Communities. I've made a presentation on there. We have already, details them, the problem, and what the OIC need to do for the protection of the Muslim minorities in Burma. And then I saw recently, 3 days ago, last week, a resolution come up from the Foreign Ministers Conference recently held in Damascus. So this is a sort of encouraging.
Okay.
So we expect actually more effective role need to play by the OIC. And especially there are among the ASEAN countries, there are some OIC member states. They can do, they can take a very good initiative to put pressure on the Burmese and
but as
military,
Tom mentioned earlier, those